Okay, I think we might start. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where in the world you are. Welcome to the Master of Management webinar. My name is Bettina Shkudlarek, and I'm an associate professor at the Discipline of International Business and the program director for the Masters of Management. And today I'm going to very briefly walk you through the highlight of the Master of Management and SEMS programs. And you will be able to post any questions you might be having in the Q&A box. So this is the type of webinars where unfortunately you won't be able to speak, but if you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A section. And again, if you haven't done the poll yet, please do it. With me, there are a number of my colleagues, Alonso, Rafaela, and Massimo, and one of our students, our alumni, our former student, currently very successful. She will tell a little bit about herself later on. Welcome, Stephanie. And with no further ado, I will just walk through everything that we have about the Master of Management program. So as you probably know by now, and that's probably why you are here partially, is that we are the #1 ranked program Master of Management in the country. And that has been established by a number of institutions. Financial Times is just one of them. The Economist is another one. And this is a place in the ranking that we have been holding for many years now. So you really are in a very safe place when it comes to education. Now, when it comes to our class profile, we have a very diverse cohort of students. It's a very small cohort. We are trying to have it as international as possible. Every cohort will have probably about 20 different nationalities present. So we really see that this particular program is one of the most diverse programs that the university has to offer. And the unique aspect of the Master of Management is that it's open to graduates from any degree. So you do not have to hold a business degree. You could have a degree in art, psychology, health, law, you name it. And if you only meet the criteria, you will be considered to be a part of this unique cohort. Now, what therefore Master of Management is and has been created for is really to provide a kind of accelerated link from any discipline to a corporate environment that you dream of. It really is about providing a holistic and integrating understanding of business. If you are more interested in some specific focus, you really want to know a lot about finance, there are probably other programs. But if you really want to have a holistic understanding of business, if you want to be, if you aspire to be in some way a leader, a consultant, someone who brings business insight in various contexts or manages strategic decisions in various contexts, this is what our program is about. We have a very strong focus on learning through doing. So we really, this is not a program where you sit in the back row and remain silent. We are engaging all the students throughout the degree continuously. So even now with the move to online environment, we continuously work in small groups, and we continuously engage and require our students to be fully part of this experience. What we also offer is a very personalized career coaching and a whole range of events, career-related events, ranging from mentoring programs, networking events, seminars with top leading leaders in the country, to make sure that you really can have that step into professional career of your choice. We also very much focus on developing teamwork and client-facing and networking skills that are absolutely necessary in today's business world. So really, in a nutshell, on one hand, while we provide you a lot of managerial knowledge from a wide range of disciplines, we also focus very much on the interpersonal development. We want to develop critical, thinking by themselves, independent, ethical leaders who will be able to really direct the future of Australian and international business in a very conscious and strategically sound way. We have a number of core units that all the students need to take. And these are the core units that you see in this slide. So we have strategy, financial management. As you can see, we have two types of financial management units. One of them is for those students who might have had finance subjects before, and the other one is for all the novices for whom this is a new subject. Leadership, digital transformation, business tools for management, the future of business, and a business project, which is something I'll tell you a little bit more later. We also have always a whole range of electives. Those electives change. So what you see here is just a sample of various electives. Every term there will be different electives. So it could be that some of those listed won't be available, but some other ones will be available instead. And again, if you see managing people, innovation, entrepreneurship, marketing, business units focusing on certain parts of the world, and topical issues which might emerge as we learn about how the world is changing. And we are trying to make sure that we are ahead of competition and that our program can deliver those units which are most critical in the ever-changing business environment. Now, the business project is one of the highlights of our program. And the business projects are real-life consulting challenges that students work in groups with a client. What does it mean in practice is that you work with the business organization on their very specific problem, and you are supported by a mentor who is helping you to make sure that you meet in the best way the needs of the client. Now, the type of projects that we are having are really ranging from all the different types of business problems that companies are facing. This could be issue linked from marketing through HR to supply to digitalization through business development. It really is what the clients are currently facing. And you present your findings directly to the client, which is are currently finishing or going through a round of presentations. And for example, with one of the recent, literally news from yesterday, the presentation that was given to Cochlear, which is one of the huge organizations dealing with hearing aids, they sent the presentation of students to various executives across the whole global organization. So we really are making sure and working together with very qualified students like the one that we have in our program, that the solutions that you are proposing, the business recommendations, are really worthy of sharing with the whole organization. So what are other key features of the program? It's about it's a little bit over 1 year in duration, and 9 units of study, including the intensive business project, electives. We hope to bring back international business trip, which was always a part of the program. But currently, as you know, no one can travel. So unfortunately, this is not going to happen in the next half a year for sure. It's a very small cohort, so it's only about 50 students per semester. So you really are finding yourself in an excellent environment of like-minded individuals who have high ambitions of changing the world. It's a very interactive environment, and as one of the students described in the previous webinar, in the first 2-3 weeks before everything went virtual, he was disclosing how he made more friends in those 3 weeks than he had made in 4 years of his regular bachelor degree. So it's really a small cohort that is very likely to be your great network for the future. And just as a confirmation, we are going to continue with online delivery in semester 1, 2021. This is also because different international travel arrangements are not yet permitted, and we really don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. And in order to give students clarity, we decided that we are going to offer the online delivery. However, we still are hoping very much so that by semester 2, 2021 situation is going to change, and we will be able to go to face-to-face delivery, which would be our preferred option. And again, we always are meeting together with that small exclusive cohort. And at the moment, the location of the classes was the CBD campus. Now, a little very briefly about admission criteria. I strongly encourage you to go online and very carefully read all the details of the application process. What we are after is a completed bachelor's degree from any discipline. And the minimum credit is a credit of 65% average. Of course, we have strict English language requirements, so this is also something to keep in mind. And what we ask from you in comparison to some other programs is your CV and a statement of motivation. So at the moment it's really a short document stating why you wanna join the program and how you are going to contribute, you believe. What insights will you bring and what drives you to be a part of this unique cohort? Make sure to submit all the documents, and shortlisted candidates will be requested to also share with us video. At the moment, we've been going through so-called video interviews, where we really, again, ask you to present yourself and present you with a number of questions. And my colleague can speak a little bit more about this later on if that's of interest. But again, please keep in mind that you meet all the requirements and collect all the necessary documents before you apply. Now, the question we always get in the webinars is, once I do agree with you, what are the career options I have? Now, the career options are endless. And we really believe that this program opened doors to a whole world of career opportunities. So we saw, of course, many students going to management consulting, but many, many others ending up in different businesses in various leadership and management roles, including governments and some large non-for-profits. So, the companies that you see on the slide is just a sample of organizations that our students are working with currently. So you really look at the career progression, which can kickstart your progress in just 1 year. This is something that we are really ranked for many, many years. We are the world leaders in career progression, meaning you really accelerate quickly through the levels of the organization. And again, the unique aspect of it is that there is no prior business experience. If you look at the link, the slides will be shared with you, the presentation will be shared with you. In that link that you see on the slide, you can see a little bit more detail about the profile of different students and our graduates. That gives you a little bit of a feeling of the variety of options open to you upon finishing this program. Now, a little bit about examples of some of the profile of students and where they started and where they are, or where they were when we actually created those slides. Ashley, with a Bachelor of Arts, working with Qantas. Jack with the Bachelor in Computer Science and Chemistry, working with Deloitte. Emma with the Bachelor in International and Global Studies, working with KPMG. And Henry with the Bachelor of Pharmacy, working with NAP. So we really see a whole wide range of careers. And we have with us today Stephanie, who we invited. She's a very recent Master of Management graduate, so she's one of our alumni. And Stephanie, could you very briefly tell us about your experience with the program, as well as about the career progress, what you thought about your career before you started, where you are now, how it all happened, so that students get a little bit of a feeling of what's ahead of them.
Yeah, hi everybody, my name is Steph. I graduated a Master of Management in 2019, so I graduated halfway through last year. So as you can see on your screen, there is Henry. I also did a Bachelor of Pharmacy. Then in 2016, we graduated the same year. And once I finished that, I did a graduate certificate. And after I did a graduate certificate and I did pharmacy, I thought to myself, well, there's, a lot out there still for me. Originally, I was actually thinking of going into pharmaceutical companies, and I had lots of sort of ideas The reason I did the Masters of Management was because, first of all, it was 1 year. There was, you know, a little bit, I thought to myself, if I could do this for a year, have a little bit of an idea of what I wanted to do and what I want to go into in the future, that's something that's quite valuable for me. I didn't want to get sort of bogged down in one specific area that I wasn't sure that I was going to like. So the Master of Management had a lot of different options to me. And I guess exploring those options was really good, because I'd go through and I'd say, oh, well, this subject actually I really, really like. And this subject, you know, that's not really for me. So it was quite nice to spend my year and a bit doing that. I also sort of gained so many skills within that just 1 year that I did go and apply for sort of lots of different kind of roles in the pharmaceutical industry, but as well in consulting. And at the end, I actually ended up getting a job in a management consulting company called Partners in Performance. And it's quite a sort of, it's not quite a boutique company, but it's kind of in the mid-range. And right now I've been working almost a year as a consultant and an analyst at this firm. So I can definitely attest to the Master of Management program opening so many doors and getting you to a place where you kind of never thought you'd actually go and actually be at in such a short period of time. So when I did apply for the job, one of the things that I found really, really useful, and Bettina, you mentioned it before, it was that you have a really good sort of counselling service in job counselling. And, you know, when you are going through all those applications and you don't really know where you want to be, the help from Sydney Uni, from the Masters of Management sort of counsellor about jobs, she was really helpful in helping to find out what kind of CV I needed to have and what my questions needed to look like and my answers to those questions needed to look like. And look, I can safely say that I think that's one of the main reasons that I got any jobs was because I had practiced so much, and I knew exactly where I wanted to be by the end of the degree, because I'd learned so much during the different sort of things that I'd done. As well, I think some of the really great benefits, and as Bettina said, the cohort that we had was so small and so international. You got to meet so many different people, but as well, right now I can safely say that I have friends who, you know, some of them are consultants with big consulting companies. I have other friends that have gone into banks and into insurance companies, and it's just such a widespread sort of connection that I have just from that 1 year of being in this degree. Bettina, did you want me to sort of cover any of the highlights at the moment, or do you have anything sort of in terms of your slides? Are they coming up?
No, I think this is great. And I'm saying once the question come up, we will definitely ask you to you know, give the former student perspective and the alumni perspective. So thank you. This is, you know, a beautiful highlight of what the program is about. So thank you so much for joining us. And again, we will be calling for your help as we go along. Thank you. We are working and we are supposed to still have next year, despite you know, everything changing at the university. We are going to hopefully have still scholarships for a few selected students. Those are open to domestic students. At the same time, University of Sydney has a range of scholarships that are open to international students. So check those on the University of Sydney website. On our website, you can find information about the Master of Management specific scholarships. We are strongly encouraging non-business students to apply. Don't be shy. There is quite often this approach of, oh, I don't have a business degree, I have no chance. On the contrary, we really want to see diversity of backgrounds. So please do not be shy. You need to apply to the Master of Management program alongside. And again, everything about scholarship, you can find information online. They're very competitive, I'm not gonna lie. We have just had, you know, when we were selecting students for scholarship for this semester, we really had very, very heated discussions because the candidates were excellent. But that's, again, even more of a motivation to apply, because you really are going to be in a wonderful, you know, company with such amazing people like the ones we get into the program. Now, some of you might be here today because you are interested in the Master of Management SENS. And together with me is the program director of the Master of Management SENS, Massimo. Massimo, I'll just briefly go through the 2 slides that I have, but later on, I think any questions about SENS, I will be very happy to pass to you. the SAMS Alliance is an alliance of business schools across the world, and only one school per country is allowed to be a part of this alliance. And this is University of Sydney Business School for Australia. And we really look with the SAMS degree. You do get to get 2 master's degrees. So one of them is the SAMS degree, and one of them is the local University of Sydney Master of Management degree. You get them in 1.5 years. So again, it's an intensive program, and you're a part of this unique alliance of over 32, I think, schools across across 5 continents. And you, as a part of the program, normally are allowed to be a part of an exchange in one of the partner institutions. Again, currently this is on hold, and again we're going to have to watch how the situation changes for semester 2021. So this is of course a kind of disappointing outcome for very many students. For Masters of Management SAMS, the difference in comparison to our regular Master of Management is that you must be fluent in a second language. So you have to be in some way, bilingual almost, and you also have to have a business degree. You can, however, transfer after, if you have had great results and you want to move, you don't have a business degree, but you started in Master of Management. After half a year, you can transition to the SAMS program if your achievements are strong enough for that transition. Now, just, on this side, you can see just a sample of schools that are a part of the SAMS Alliance. And again, this is one of the most prestigious degrees that you can get in the world. So again, very attractive opportunity that the University of Sydney Business School is offering. Now, again, this is in a nutshell what I have had prepared for you. And I think it's time to move to questions. So, Lance and Stefani and, Massimo later on, if you can join me, that would be lovely. And as I said, please do type your questions in the Q&A box. And that's how we can try to answer them all as they come in. So don't be shy, ask your questions. Now, the first one, can someone study this course part-time? Especially if someone is studying full-time can be challenging. So you can definitely study part-time. We have several students working part-time, studying part-time. I think the challenge with our program is that we don't offer evening or weekend classes. So the way our classes are scheduled, they are throughout the day for a number of hours, which means that you are quite likely to either go part-time or request leave, because, for example, at the moment we would have classes, let's say on Tuesday and Thursday, 9 to 5, which means your participation is in those classes is necessary. So yes, absolutely open to work and to open work part-time, but can you give me 1 second, because my son just came in. Really sorry, I'll be back in a second. Lance, if you could take over.
Yeah, so I mean, just to reinforce what Bettina said, is that if you wish to study part-time, then most likely, because our classes run during the day from 9 till 5, a full day, you would have to take approximately 1 day off a week to attend class. So it is very much possible to do part-time, but you would have to take a day off a week. Stephanie, how did you did you work at the same time as doing the program?
Yeah, I ended up, because at the time I was a pharmacist, I actually did do work during my management degree, but I did obviously have it down to a few days a week, and I did some weekends. But generally I found it quite good because I did full-time, but I found it quite manageable to be doing a full-time degree and to have a few days of work as well.
Thank you. Okay, are you right, Bettina?
I'm right, sorry for that.
Okay.
Which question are we at?
So we're on to the question about what is the price of the whole master's program for international students, and are there any scholarships available? So the price for the program approximately is, for international students, is about $45,000 in total. And there are some scholarships that the university has been working on for international students. And I would suggest that you visit the University Scholarship website, and they'll give you details of what sort of financial assistance can be offered to international students.
Thank you. And I think what I might also respond to in regards to part-time option, because I find it very lovely to watch these days. We have one of the students who is a mom as well. So now that we are virtually, I actually, we every now and again get to hear her child joining her. So while she's participating, there is a little, toddler coming over, and it's really, this is the type of flexibility that the online studying allows, that she can be engaged with us, and we are, very inclusive of those options where you really try to combine, some of the aspects of your life with what's happening, with being fully present in the class. So we have the one about the price. Can I know if international students can get job opportunities after Master of Management since it's a 1.5 years course? So unfortunately, in terms of visas, this is something that we have nothing to, nothing that we can change. The visa requirements are separate, and unfortunately, this program, in terms of the duration, will in no way allow you to get directly a visa. Some of the students, they decide to, for example, undertake another degree on top of that. In terms of being online and visas, Lance, do you know in any way how it works at the moment?
In terms of the Master of Management SIMS, most students that undertake this program are looking for international careers, and often when you do online study in other countries, which you'll be doing as part of which the exchange is currently online, but hopefully we'll go back to physical exchanges in the second half of 2021. You'll do a business project at another university, and that'll be an opportunity for you to connect with people from other countries and with other companies. So I would say that even though courses have gone online for the Master of Management SIMS for now, there are still a wealth of opportunities to connect with companies and other students in an online environment that could lead to job opportunities when you complete the program.
Yeah, but I'm saying the length of the program means that unfortunately there won't be direct entry into a permanent visa. So I think that's something that needs to be also stated clearly. And a question about doing an exchange semester in Sydney from another university. The places are allocated by your home university. So if you're a student in whichever network, officially are enrolled as a student in whichever part of the network within your home university, that university is going to decide where you go on exchange. So we do not have any opportunity to change that. So we can't really. Am I correct, Lance? That this is a
That's correct.
Question of the program director, program manager, or program director in your home university.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. Similarly, in terms of internships, that's something that really is not longer internship. That's something that you would have to arrange by yourself with the organization. So we don't have much influence on internships. So 2 questions. One is about the online delivery. Is the online delivery for the first semester subject to change? No. So this is something that we took as a firm decision because of the experience of last term. So last term, everyone was hoping things would change, and the situation was very insecure for everyone. So nobody knew what was happening. And therefore, for this reason, since the situation seems, again, pretty much subject to change from one day to another, we decided to make that call earlier on so that there is clarity and no disappointment. Because quite what happened this term, many students were hoping the situation would change, and then when it didn't, we would see a lot of deferrals and a lot of challenges and so on. So to assure that there is clarity, semester 1 2021 will go online. Is GRE sufficient to apply to the program, or do I have to take the GMAT score, Lance?
My understanding is that currently we don't recognize the GRE and that you would have to check the GMAT score. However, if your bachelor's degree meets the entry requirements of 65%, then you're not required to also undertake a GMAT.
Yeah. Having said that, if your entry requirements are met, still do include your GRE score if that's the one you are proud of. We are familiar with the GRE system, so definitely if you meet the requirements otherwise, add it as an information for our knowledge as a background. What level of language proficiency is needed for SAMS?
For SIMS, you need to be bilingual on entry. So you need to have English as one language and then another language, and you need an intermediate level of language to be considered bilingual. So, you know, the ability to have a conversation and to write in that language at an intermediate level is what's required in order to meet the SIMS requirements.
I'm currently studying Bachelor of Finance. Am I eligible to apply for Master of Management SAMS? Yes, of course, you know, you need to meet all the other criteria, but yes, with the Bachelor of Finance, you are eligible to apply for Master of Management SAMS. Are you able to submit academic references to your application? Is reference something that you recommend submitting? You can always add it. You don't, you know, it's not something that we require. But if there's a background information you would like to share with us, you can. It's definitely not something that we require from applicants, though. Is the GMAT necessary, or would it be beneficial to send it with my application?
I think like references, providing you meet the entry requirement, then you don't need to submit a GMAT score. However, if you have a GMAT score, like a reference, you can use it and provide it as part of your application to support your application.
Please advise what is the nature of the assessments in the program. The nature of assessment is very varied. So we have almost every exam will have, almost every subject will have a group component, individual component, possibly exam, research essay. So it's really a very mix. I would say, if you really ask me about the ratio, I would say that most a big number of units will have a group project of about 30% and an individual assignment of about 30%, and some of them will have another individual assignment or an exam of another 30%, kind of on average if I were to put a number on it. But it's a very diverse set of assessments, as we are trying to look into a whole range of ways in which you can show that you are acquiring knowledge. If you apply now as an international student and get in for semester 1, are you able to postpone your start to semester 2 so that you hopefully are able to go to Australia and not to study online? Lance, how would you respond to that?
So you're permitted to defer your, if you receive an offer, you're permitted to defer your entry for up to 1 year. So you can defer to semester 2 if you wish. The only thing to be aware of is, of course, that you know, it's very difficult to know what's going to happen in terms of the travel ban. So it might also be kind of you know, useful to start online 1 semester in the hope that you come to Australia in the 2nd semester.
Yeah, thank you. The full classes to attend, will they be twice a week for next year? Yes, more or less they will be twice a week for next year as well. Yeah. If we undertake another course in addition to the SAMS, will we still get the job visa, since now it's online and we don't have physical presence? Lance, I have no idea about visas, so you have to help me here.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure about this either. I think that you probably need to consult the Australian government website or the immigration website. I do believe in some countries they recognise that online study is contributing towards postgraduate study for a postgraduate or for a post-study visa in that country. However, I would check, as I said, with the government website to make sure, because it's a very complicated area and it's not something I can give advice about.
Yeah, thank you. Are you only able to apply to one program, or can you apply to both?
You could apply to both programs, but I'd probably think very carefully about which program you want to do. Part of the reason why we undertake motivational interviews is to understand your motivation for doing one program versus another program. And if you apply for both programs, it's kind of confusing what your motivation is. So I'd probably think about which program you actually want to do and apply for that program.
Thank you. Now, I am an Australian student and graduated 10 years ago. Would this master be covered by HECS? And what would I have to pay up front? I think like the first comment we need to make is that if you have more than, let's say, 3-4 years of professional experience, we would probably recommend you check the MBA program, because most of our students would be either fresh graduates or might have 2 to 3 years of experience. So I think from that perspective, something to consider, that if you have more years of professional experience, it might be worthwhile to try another degree where you actually can meet many more people with the career background that you are having at the moment. Lance, regarding the second part of the questions.
Yes, I believe that the Masters is covered by fee help, and we're still waiting for advice from the government whether it will be supported by CSP places. If it was supported by CSP, then you would have to pay a discounted fee, which is about 1/3, and you would be able to pay up front.
Thank you, Lance. Do you need references from work? If you submit your CV and previous professional experience, do you value references from those? It's similarly what we said before. We don't really request those because we assume that for many of our students who are applying, they do not have work experience because they are fresh graduates. So again, if you have something impressive, you can add it. But we are really interested in your motivation to undertake this degree, and how do you think you're going to contribute to the cohort experience, as we do not expect from any students to have previous work experience. Lance, what is the application deadline?
Yeah, so the next question's got the application deadline, and for August 2021, the application deadline will be the 31st of July.
Thank you. And the next question is about how many % of international students usually secure a job in Australia after graduation. I'm not sure if I have any statistics on that.
Yeah, it's not something statistics we keep. It is challenging to get a job as an international student in Australia after you complete your degree. Most probably you would need to get sponsorship. I wonder if more broadly, Stephanie could talk about what happened in her cohort in terms of people getting jobs and what sort of areas they went into and where they ended up, be it international or domestic students.
Yes, Lance, I can talk about that. So generally for domestic students, I think I mentioned it before, a few different types of job prospects in I guess the main ones that come to mind are banks, insurance, consulting. Some of the other things in terms of international students, and I've caught up with some of them recently and they've stayed in Sydney, is that generally they look to do potentially another degree to be able to get a certain type of visa, and I'm not 100% sure about that, but they've done another sort of degree on top of that to be able to, or potentially they've extended to STEMs, or I think there's lots of ways to go about it. And currently I've been speaking to them, and they're able to get the jobs, but I think because of COVID, it's been a little bit difficult in terms of for anybody finding jobs, not just international students. So I can't think of any in particular at the moment, because I do know that people have actually stayed. International students have actually managed to find a way to stay in the country and be eligible to get jobs. So, and then applying for that.
Thank you, Stephanie. Now the next question is, could you suggest which another program should we apply if we have 3 years or more experience? Again, if you have 3 years, you probably should still apply with us. If you have, something more like 5, probably MBA program would be good for you. So It's a program I teach in as well, so I know it very well. In fact, I've been teaching it this morning. The MBA program is also, a wonderful, truly international cohort. And with people, because of the work experience, many of the discussions in the class are linked to the work that they are doing currently or they have been doing. So while there might be some overlaps in terms of the general content covered, the significant difference between the two programs is that the focus is really on the experience those individuals might have, and the discussions are quite often built around what they have achieved and what they've been doing in their careers. So from that perspective, if you believe you have more years of experience, that would be the program. But again, if you have just a few years of experience, Master of Management is a good place for you. Is RPA available for experience and/or subjects completed in another master degree?
I can answer that one, Bettina.
I know you can.
Because the Master of Management program is only 10 years of study, and it meets the minimum requirement for level 7 AQF master's programs, we do not grant any credit or RPL for either incomplete masters or completed masters that students have completed prior to going to the program. So you have to do all the courses in the program because it meets the minimum requirement for a master's program.
Thank you. Can someone exit degree after 6 months and get graduate certificate?
Yes, they can. You can do the program for, you can exit the program after one semester, and you will be awarded a graduate certificate in management.
When will we know if there are CSP places for this program? Now, we are waiting to know that as well, correct, Lance?
Yeah, I'm hoping soon. Yeah, I mean, I hope very soon, but at the moment I haven't got confirmation, but as soon as I do have confirmation, we will certainly go through and award them as we can. So
please do apply. And then as soon as we have confirmation that we have the CSP places, you are going to hear from us if you are among the people who are going to get one. Correct. So, in the pre-COVID times, the CSP places were plenty. And that was, the great news. And now we are simply, the university is working, with huge budget calculations. And all of those numbers are kind of waiting for official confirmation for any program. But as soon as we know, we'll make sure to send the information to all the candidates who would be the recipients of those CSP places. Any future study I can engage in after graduating from Master of Management SEMS, like PhD. So look, for PhD degree, depending on the country that you choose to do, you might need a so-called research element to go directly into a PhD program. Now, our Master of Management and Master of Management SEMS do not have a thesis component. So that means that the transition directly to a PhD program won't be possible. However, there is a way that you could get to a PhD program via an MPhil pathway. An MPhil, Master in Philosophy, would then allow you to take a number of units particularly linked to research and would be really your path to a PhD degree. So yes, that's definitely is one of the options, but of course that's yet another different application process that you will need to undertake after you finish the Master of Management or Master of Management SEMS degree. Will you prefer someone with a 10-year experience versus someone with a 3 years experience? I don't think for us it's really a preference. So I think our experience, talking about experience, our experience was that people with so many years of professional career simply might find themselves a little bit out of place. Again, depending what your role was, if you were managing people in any context, you will really find out that the MBA cohort will be much more suited to advance your career aspirations that will be Master of Management. So this is really clearly about finding the right people and providing them the best learning opportunity. And we think that for most people, unless your experience really had absolutely nothing with management, most likely 10 years of work experience would really make you a very qualified MBA candidate. Um, so that was the question about 10 years of experience. So I'll just, as I'm saying, responded to that. Again, I strongly recommend considering the MBA. Do you check the applications on a regular basis? So do I have to fear that all seats are full much earlier than the end of July?
Yes, we do. We do check applications on a regular basis, and no, you don't have to fear that that all the program will be full before it reaches the end of the intake. It will be it might be near full, but in general, we try to pick the best 50 or 60 students. So we always allocate some places for good students that apply late.
Yeah, so I'm saying if you're an excellent student, there will be always a space. Having said that, do not wait. Submit your application sooner rather than later. And we are trying to really be very responsive to the all the applications as they come in. Also, not to hold you waiting and preventing you from applying possible to other options. Can we apply for an MBA with a 3 years work experience? I would suggest that you check exactly the MBA cohort for that. I think 3 years probably would be the minimum, but then again, that really depends what type of work experience. So it's all depending on what you've been doing. There are several students with 3 years of experience who would be a perfect match for Master of Management, and others with 3 years of work experience, for example, being consultants in some of the top consulting company, probably after 3 years of such experience, that would fit better in the MBA cohort. So it really depends what type of work experience we are talking about. Am I correct, Lance?
You are correct.
Do I need to provide more than translation for a bachelor's degree obtained in another country?
You do. You need to provide a translation of a bachelor's degree if it's not in English.
It says more than a translation.
More than a translation? No, you only have to provide a translation of a degree if it's not in English, so that we can understand what it means.
If we are applying for semester 2, when do you recommend to apply? When is the last day?
The last day is the 31st of July of any year. I'd recommend you apply earlier rather than leaving it till the last minute. So we're certainly processing applications for semester 2 2021. So if you wish, you can apply now and you'll find out in the next few weeks.
For the first time ever in those webinars, we actually don't have any more questions. If you have any other questions to myself, Lance, to Stefani, or to Massimo, this is still, a last few moments to answer them. Otherwise, please contact us. I'm going to share our email address, and we are going to respond to any questions that might be coming your way. Coming our way from you. And again, if you have anything now, there are still a few minutes, and we are happy to respond to everything. But always remember that we are always available to be there if there are any concerns, and we can answer your inquiries. 2 more questions. Wonderful. I graduated in June from my bachelor's degree. Do you need to submit a diploma or only transcript? I have not gotten my diploma yet. Can I still apply?
Yes, absolutely. You can apply. You just need to provide your transcript. You can provide your diploma at a later point. You get a conditional offer, then you provide your diploma, and then that offer would move from conditional to unconditional, so that would be fine.
If I do not have any work experience, would this program be suitable for me? Yes, absolutely. As I said, most of our students would have no work experience. So it's a pre-experience program. Students might have, a few internships, but some of them, have very limited, if any, work experience. So yes, absolutely, this program is for you. Does MBA have scholarships like Master of Management? Yes, they do. They are also extremely competitive, and you can find all the information about the MBA scholarships on their website. If I don't meet the minimum degree requirements and it's an Australian degree, can I still apply? Lance, I know you can. Happy for you to tell a bit more about the detail of that process.
Absolutely. If you have 65% average, then absolutely you can apply. We go through the application and we look at other things, not just your academic transcript, but we also look at your statement of motivation and also your CV. So it's really important that you submit those when you apply. If your statement of motivation is strong and your CV is strong, we will offer you the opportunity to submit a motivational interview. And if that's a strong interview, we may well look at making you an offer if you don't quite make the 65% cutoff. But if you're only got a 55% average, then it's unlikely that you've got to get in. But if you're only missing by 1 or 2%, we'll certainly look at your application.
Yeah, so I think this is an important part of the program, that quite a few of our students will be very much engaged in different extracurricular activities and in different volunteering type of organizations, and we really value that. We value individuals who reach out and spend the time doing other things. So again, when it talks about cutoff, I explain that again because the question in some way came back. If you can show us through your CV and your motivation that possibly you are missing a few small percentages to that 65, but you have this really amazing CV and really amazing achievements in some other ways because you were committed to doing wonderful things while studying, that's something that we are going to consider. So we are very much focusing on individuals who are more than just a good transcript, but who also can show that they have done something more in their life than just sitting with the books. We want people who take responsibility, take action, take leadership, and leadership can mean very many different things in the your neighborhood, local community, an organization, association, and so on. Is the 65% average based on all 3 years of a bachelor's degree?
Yes, it is.
What is the minimum percentage required from a bachelor's degree to get admitted to this course? So I think that was just answered.
Yep.
Have you still a lot of spots open for semester 1, 2021?
I wouldn't say we have a lot of spots open for semester 1, 2021, but we still have spots open. I think the cohort, when I last looked, is about just over half full.
So again, do not hesitate and do apply. Any other questions? If not, maybe I'll just ask Stephanie, would you like to make some, kind of final closure and tell us, what is your greatest takeaway from your time with the Master of Management program?
Yeah, for me, I guess it was a few things. Like I guess now it might not be available, but one of the things that we did was go to China. I think that was something that was like sort of unforgettable for me. And apart from that, the business project is something that is really sort of sets this course apart from any other. We ended up doing actual work for an actual client, which was almost unheard of at the time. But I mean, from that, you get not just the experience, but like the mentor, for example. The mentor is someone that you kind of keep throughout your life. And I'm actually seeing my mentor next week. And I'm still in touch with her after like over a year after doing it. So that's something that I took away. Is it's not just the actual degree and where it gets you, it's the people along the way that you do meet and the experiences that you have that make it really, really worthwhile. And it's only about a year or so. So if you're actually even potentially thinking about it, you should just go and do it, because it's only a year.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. We still have a few more questions. As an international student, would I stand a chance to get an internship or job without prior work experience? Our experience with the program very much is linked to the individual proactiveness of a candidate. So we have seen students who were, almost sometimes told that they've got no chance for anything, and then transforming, the different opportunities they were given by interacting with different companies into real job prospects. So I think it's an interaction of, on one hand, of course, being a part of the program, but also on your attitude, proactiveness, and the way in which you can show the client that you are worth the attention. So we are, of course, not promising anything because we absolutely can't, But have we seen it happening? Yes, absolutely. And again, it was always the combination of the knowledge plus the proactiveness and attitude of the student. Are internship placements part of the course? No, internship placements are not part of the course, but again, the business projects are in some way this, very intensive type of engagement that allows you to really work with the top-notch organization. So when Stephanie said we were lucky to, work with the client, all our students are working with various clients, and those clients I'm saying range from large organizations such as MasterCard, KPMG, Deloitte, and so on, through some successful entrepreneurship companies. We really kind of are trying to have and choose those organizations that will kind of make your city stand out. So we predominantly work with larger organizations just because of those, we know that those are really, recognized. Lance, would you like to add anything?
Pretty much just what you said there. I mean, essentially, it's rather than have an internship, we have a business project, which we believe is a much more beneficial experience than actually doing an internship.
Yeah. What if you have 5 years of experience but not in managerial? Can you still apply for an MBA? Again, I would contact the MBA team. I would basically share your CV and ask if there is a point of applying. So it really depends on a given year's cohort. So I would really contact the MBA team if that's what is of interest. And then the same for us. If you think, oh, I have 5 years of experience, would that be too much? And so on, contact us and we will be happy to respond to that. Are there any scholarships left for semester 1, 2021? Yes, there are, because we still haven't gone through any of the process. So yes, definitely the scholarships are still available. Okay. Now, if there are no further questions, we are exactly almost at the dot 7:30. So thank you so much for attending. If you haven't done the poll yet, please do so and let us know more about you. And we're going to send your way a very short questionnaire, which we would really appreciate if you could answer, as well as we are going to send you of course, the video recording and the slides from today. And like always, please do not hesitate to contact us if anything comes up. We are really here to help as much as we can and answer any questions. So thank you so much, and have a lovely evening, day, whatever is ahead of you, and we really hope to see your applications coming in.